Disney movies can teach you valuable lessons like friendship, respect, perseverance, murder, and revenge. You heard me correctly. According to some theories, Disney movies are darker than you think. In fact, they may be trying to infiltrate and corrupt young minds. So be careful. The family-friendly animated movies are not as innocent as they seem. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today I'm bringing you the top 10 scary Disney movie theories, part 3. Now this is part 3, so make sure to check out the other 2 videos as well. Disney's got a pretty dark side. Starting off this countdown, we have Alice in Chains. And I'm not talking about the band here. I'm talking about Alice from Alice in Wonderland. Theory goes that the only person in the movie that is actually mad is Alice. And in fact, she is a patient at a mental asylum. She suffers from schizophrenia, and everything we see in the movie is just all one big hallucination. Now, every character that we see is a personification of other conditions that she suffers from. For example, the White Rabbit is her anxiety, the Mad Hatter is her ADHD, and the Queen of Hearts is narcissistic personality disorder. So, Alice is chained up in her room all day hallucinating from the drugs she was given. In our 9th spot, we have Aladdin. Now this is a popular theory, so you might have heard it already. But theory goes that Aladdin takes place 10,000 years in a post-apocalyptic future. There's actually quite a lot of evidence to support this. For starters, when Genie comes out of the lamp, he said he's been in there for 10,000 years. Yet he's making modern day references like doing an impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jack Nicholson, meaning he must have been around during that time if he knows who they are. But then 10,000 years has passed, meaning it's 10,000 years in the future. But the world doesn't look so advanced besides magic carpets. So it's thought an apocalypse wiped out humanity. What happened exactly? Well, in an Aladdin video game, in one of the levels you can see an unexploded atomic bomb. So maybe a nuclear war wiped out humanity. Those that survived had to rebuild society. Coming in at number 8, we have Moana. Moana was the movie of the summer a couple of years ago. Kids loved it, and I can't lie, the songs were pretty catchy. Like, I didn't even know The Rock could sing. Anyways, it may just be that Moana is pretty much dead for most of the film. So theory goes that when Moana goes on her adventure, she gets killed in the big storm. Since she's no longer living, she can access a magical otherworld. That's where she meets Maui. That's why during her adventure, she doesn't interact with any normal humans, cause she's not alive. And it's also why she sees the spirit of her grandmother and ancestors at the end of the movie as she sails her boat, cause she did. Moving on to number 7, we have Grumpy. Ever wonder why all the dwarves in Snow White are upbeat and happy? All except one, Grumpy? Why is he so grumpy? Obviously he wasn't just born and was like goo goo gaga, I hate people. No, something must have happened. In fact, in the show Once Upon a Time, they made it so Grumpy was once called Dreamy. After losing his lover, he became sour and his name changed to Grumpy. So maybe this is the case. His lover passed away in a tragic accident and it completely changed his life. He now has trust issues and doesn't want to get too close to people as he fears they too will be ripped away from him. So he has his guards up and avoids making personal connections with others. Grumpy just doesn't want to get his heart broken again. Making our way down the list, number 6, we have Winnie the Pooh. Everyone loves that honey-loving, crop-top-wearing, cuddly bear. But sorry, this theory is going to change the way you look at everything. So theory goes that every character in Winnie the Pooh suffers from a different mental illness. Let's start with Pooh. He suffers from compulsive eating disorder and OCD. For starters, he is obsessed with honey, he dreams about it, and eats far too much of it. Then we see that he has a habit of repetitive counting. That's his OCD. Then we have Piglet, which represents a generalized anxiety disorder. Piglet is always worrying and even has an anxious ear twitch. Eeyore is clearly depression. Don't need to explain that one, you can clearly tell that he's depressed. Owl is dyslexia because he has trouble reading, and also narcissism since he often thinks he is wiser than others. Kanga has social anxiety disorder, which is why she's so overprotective of her son. Tigger has ADHD, which is why he's bouncing everywhere all the time. And Christopher Robin, well, he has schizophrenia. and imagines all of his friends. His friends appear depending on what state he's in. For example, if he's more anxious, then Piglet will appear. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with Jack syndrome. Okay, this theory is really gonna throw you for a loop, and you gotta pay attention. So, in the first Incredibles, we see Syndrome dies after his cape gets sucked into a plane's turbine. But did he really die? I mean, the dude was a genius. His inventions were really out there. Who says that he didn't invent something to help him get out of that situation? Although it seemed like he died, maybe he's still alive. In fact, people think that Syndrome is a super himself. He just hasn't channeled his powers yet. So let's take a look at the supers mentioned on the Incredibles bonus CD. The super Psych Wave looks an awful lot like Syndrome. Like, they have the same color hair and their eyes are the same. It also shows that her intelligence level is the highest out of all supers. And her team owned a secret base on a remote island that now belongs to Syndrome. This can't all be a coincidence. Syndrome inherited his intelligence from his mother and some of her powers, but he doesn't know it yet. But while his cape was getting sucked into the turbine, that's when his powers got activated. It also says that Psych Wave has the power to possess another person's body. So what if, just as he was about to die, he possessed the closest person's body to him, Jack, meaning his physical body was destroyed, but now he became Jack. Soon, he will get revenge on the Incredibles. I know, it's complicated, but it kinda makes sense. And at number 4, we have the skinned Sully. All you Monsters Inc. fans, brace yourself for this one. Sully is dead. He has died. So in Monsters Inc., Randall always mentions how bad humans are. At one point, he says that humans skin monsters and make toilet seat covers out of their fur. Sadly, this foreshadowed the fate of our friend Sully. In a Toy Story short called Toy Story Toons Partysaurus Rex, there's a scene where the kid is taking a bubble bath. And lo and behold, on the toilet seat in the bathroom is a fuzzy Sully seat cover. So Randall was right, humans do skin the monsters and turn them into toilet seat covers. Poor Sully, he let his guard down with Boo and ended up getting skinned alive. Coming in at number 3, we have the Illuminati numbers. What a lot of us may not have noticed is that in almost every Disney Pixar movie, they have the hidden code A113 in it. For example, in Toy Story, Andy's mother's car's license plate is A113. In Finding Nemo, the camera's model is A113. This code is also Mater's license plate in Cars, is seen on a box in A Bug's Life, and on a rat's ear in Ratatouille. It's also the code for the Abandoned Earth Protocol in WALL-E. So what is this code and what does it mean? Well, theory goes that it represents a secret Illuminati code. It's theorized that this code means something much darker than we realize. But in reality, A113 is the classroom number at the California Institute of Arts, the classroom where many animators at Pixar and Disney once worked. Or so that's what they want you to think. Moving on to number 2, we have the experiments. So Reddit user Fan Theory Spoiler created this theory, and now it's got me rethinking everything. If it's true, then Disney Pixar is dark. So in Monsters Inc. we find out that Randall and Waternoose have been experimenting on kids. In one scene we see them capture Boo and try to experiment on her before being stopped. But this Reddit user believes that they have been experimenting on Boo for years. Here's the evidence. So first off, when Sully meets Boo for the first time, she isn't in bed like the other kids. She's fully dressed, which is weird considering it's the middle of the night. It seems like Boo knew what was going to happen and was prepping for it. And then we have the scene where Sully and Boo chase after Randall to go save Mike. Randall turns a corner and disappears. Sully tries to figure out where he went, whereas Boo just flicks a tool that opens up a secret panel, as if she knew it from before, from being there before. Now, how long has Randall been doing this? Well, at the end of the movie, we find out that Rox has been undercover for 2.5 years. So one can assume it's been that long. Poor Boo. And in our number 1 spot, we have Mary POPPYWISE. People are getting more and more creative these days. Just wait till you hear this next theory. So posted on Reddit by the user Humanoid Mold 5, they believe that Mary Poppins and Pennywise the Clown from It are the same species. It's hard to believe, but there's some pretty solid evidence supporting it. So first off, both characters have the same power. They both manipulate young children's minds. Mary taps into their imagination, Pennywise manipulates them with their fears. Furthermore, both of them return after 20-something years to the same group of kids. In Mary Poppins Returns, she returns to the Banks family, and in Pennywise, he returns back to the Loser Club. Then we have the fact that both the Banks family and the Loser Club forget about them. The Banks family remembers Mary Poppins, but not that she's magical. The Loser Club forget their childhoods almost altogether until Pennywise returns. And last but not least, we have the balloons. Obviously, Pennywise has his signature red balloons, and he has the saying, "You'll float too." In Mary Poppins Returns, the characters grab balloons and float into the air. Coincidence? I think not. Mary Poppins and Pennywise are related. And that's all for today's video. Let's move on to our comment shout out portion. I'll be shouting out comments from my video, Top 10 Scary Disney Movie Theories Part 2. Willy Wonka, TikTok's biggest fan, commented, "Hello Lindsay, this channel literally saved me when we were in quarantine." I am so glad to hear that. If I could help out even just one person, that makes my day. Nate's randomest channel commented 209. Okay, could you stop putting that image for number 8, please? It's the image from the Russian sleep experiment where the guy's just like, yeah, it's a spooky channel. It's supposed to spook you. Just like skip past that part, but I'm sorry if it scares you. Michael Finkley commented, "Or maybe the Beast and his friends can change forms at will." Okay, but why would the Beast want to go from human to beast? Whenever, actually, I could see why he wanted to do that. But you really think Mrs. Potts wants to get turned back to a teapot? Like, what does she have to benefit from that? Nothing. And yeah, no. And that's all the comments I'm shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see ya. What can I say except you're welcome?